March means madness in college sports. With March Madness right around the corner for college basketball, I figured we might as well do a March Madness for college football. So we're taking the top 64 teams in college football from this year. I took this from CBSSports.com's full 131 team final rankings, and I took the 64 best teams, threw them in a 64 team bracket. We've got 4 different regions. We got Georgia leading a region. We've got Ohio State leading a region, TCU leading a region, and Michigan leading a region because those teams finished as the final 4 teams in the nation. So we're going to start off first round with Georgia's region. Georgia is starting us off against Ohio. As you can see on your screen, this is what their region is looking like. Let's hop into this first round. Hopefully we can get some big time upsets like there is in March Madness every single year up until the final 4 in this March Madness college football bracket. I'm going to let the higher seed be the home team. Here we go. First game of this 64 team bracket is going to be Georgia versus Ohio. Let's see if Ohio can pull off the 16 versus 1 upset of the century. First game went about as planned. Georgia wins 31-8 over Ohio. We weren't expecting something crazy like this to start us off, but Ohio did try to keep it close for a little bit of this game. They were only down 2 scores coming into the fourth, but then Georgia piled on. Let's hop into the second game. Wake Forest against Fresno State. Fresno State was able to hold on at home against Wake Forest 30-28. They barely squeaked it out, but they're heading on to the next round to take on Georgia. It looks like Oregon is going to be able to survive the good old 5-12 matchup. A lot of 12 seeds have beat 5 seeds in the college basketball March Madness, but Oregon survives it and they're heading on to the next round. 4 seed Kansas State looks like they're going to be able to take down the 13 seed Oklahoma State by 12 as there's only 30 seconds left and Oklahoma State's got to drive the whole entire field and then get an onside kick and score again. Kansas State will be taking on Oregon in the round of 32. BYU has the ball down 4 with 23 seconds left, and they have a 4th and 11. If they can't pick this up, Tulane is going to survive, and it looks like they will, and they will avoid the 14 seed over the 3 seed upset, and they're on to the next round. It looks like the 6 seed Mississippi State is going to take care of the 11 seed Louisville at their home stadium, and they will go on to face Tulane in the next round. 10 seed Air Force gets absolutely destroyed by the 7 seed Pitt, 40-7. Rough day for Air Force as they're going to lose this one. 15 seeded Kansas is in a game with 2nd seeded Alabama, but they have a 4th and 21 late in the fourth quarter. They have to pick this thing up, and it doesn't look like they're gonna, and they're gonna fall short of beating Alabama. That's unfortunate for them. All right, now we are on to Ohio State's region, and these 16 teams that you see on your screen right now are a part of this region. So we'll start it off with Ohio State versus Houston. And since in that first region of Georgia and Alabama and the teams like that, there was not a single upset, I'm going to change it to only the 1 seed gets a home game, and then everybody else will be playing at that same stadium too. Just like March Madness, they pick one place where all of the games in the region played. So we're going to do that. The 1 seed will host every single one of the games for that region. For example, Ohio State will host every single one of these games. It looks like Ohio State will knock out Houston early in this tournament, 37-19, but we don't really expect a 16 seed to beat a 1 seed, but hopefully we can start getting some upsets very soon. JMU's got the ball in overtime, 4th and 9. UCF scored a touchdown on their first drive, so JMU has to answer with a touchdown. If they don't score on this drive, it's over for them. 4th and 9, they have to pick up 9 yards or this game will be over. They're just letting the time roll down. They're hiking the ball, draw back to pass. They find an open man, but he's going to get tackled right before the first down, and UCF is going to secure the dub. Iowa was down 36-0 in this game at one point. They tried to battle back, but it looks like they're going to come up short. Their offense played terrible, like it usually does. Notre Dame is going to get the dub and advance to the next round. I thought maybe Florida was going to be the team to get the first upset of this college football March Madness, but it looks like Clemson is going to hold on, and they're going to get the dub 28-15 over Florida, and they'll take on Notre Dame in the next round. We are still looking for our first upset as Florida State escapes over Wisconsin. Once again, the 3 seed takes down the 14 seed, and they're headed on to the next round. I don't know if we're ever going to get an upset in this whole entire tournament. Texas beats South Alabama by 1,000,000, and it looks like this one's not going to be an upset. Maybe the next one. We did it. We got our first upset. 10 seed Texas Tech beat 7 seed Duke. It's not much of an upset, but we'll take it. 10 seed Texas Tech heading on to the next round. No way this might happen. SMU, the 15 seed, is leading by 3 over Tennessee, a 2 seed. With a 4th and 3, if they pick this up, they win the game, and they're gonna get it. 15 seed SMU is gonna win over Tennessee, and they're headed on to the next round. These are the upsets we were looking for. All right, we're on to our third region, and that's the region led by TCU. So every game will be played at TCU. And first up, we got TCU versus Missouri. We got the matchups on the screen. If you want to see them, just pause it and look at them. Let's hop in. There is no way this just happened. 38-13, 16 seed Missouri destroyed TCU. Back-to-back upsets. It is madness in this tournament right now. What a strange game this was. Both teams actually got a safety, and Illinois won 25-5. Very interesting score, but Illinois will be advancing to take on the 16 seed Missouri in the next round. Here we are, 12 seeded Kentucky on the 1-yard line of 5 seeded Troy. If they score this touchdown, it might be over, and that's exactly what they're going to do. And they might have just upset Troy. One last play for Troy. They need 80 yards. He's chucking it deep, and it's going to get intercepted. Kentucky's going to pull off the upset. LSU just came out and absolutely dominated Coastal Carolina. So they're going to pick up a dub, and they're on to the next round, and they'll take on Kentucky in the round of 32. We've got a 4th and goal for the 3 seed Utah. They're down 4. They need to get this touchdown or it's all over. Cam Rising's back to pass, and he gets hit as he tries to release it, and they're going to lose to Oklahoma, the 14 seed. The upsets are coming left and right now. South Carolina looks like they're going to be able to take care of Maryland pretty easily as they win 28-9, and they're on to the next round to take on Oklahoma. UNC and Boise State are in a close one, but if UNC can just make this field goal, it'll make it a 2-possession game, and it'll all be over. And that's exactly what they're going to do, and that almost secures the dub for North Carolina. This is a close one in the 15-2 matchup. Baylor's only down 3, but they need this onside kick, and Penn State's going to get it, and they're going to be able to kneel out the clock, and they're going to survive the massive upset, and we are all done with the TCU region. 4th and final region is the Michigan region, so they will be hosting every single game in this region. These are the matchups. You can see it on your screen. Pause it if you want to come back to it. And if you want to check out any of the other matchups, let's hop into it. Like we expected, Michigan won pretty handedly over Toledo. We already got one 16-1 upset. We didn't expect to have another one. Michigan on to the next round. Rough game for Minnesota. They didn't score their touchdown until about 10 seconds ago. So Mississippi or Ole Miss wins 20-10 and will be taking on Michigan in the next round. East Carolina, the 12 seed, is taking on UCLA, the 5 seed, and they got 7 seconds left. They're down 4. If they can pull off a miracle, They can win this thing, but they only have one play left. Let's see if they can do it. He drops back to pass. He's going to have to chuck this ball deep. He's going to do exactly that. And it's going to get caught, but he can't stay on his feet and get to the end zone. UCLA is going to hold on. The 13 seed Washington State comes in and absolutely dominates the 4 seed Oregon State 33-8. This one wasn't even close. Oregon State stood no chance. Marshall came out and gave USC their best shot and just came up a little bit short. They're going to lose 35-28, and USC is going to head on to the next round. Arkansas has managed to get the ball all the way down to the 11-yard line, but the time is ticking. They have no way to stop the clock. They're going to have one last play at this thing. They got to get in the end zone, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to, and the time runs out, and UTSA barely lives on. It looks like NC State is going to squeak by Purdue and survive the mini upset as they're going to run out the clock and win 28-21, and they will be heading on to the next round. The 2 seed Washington is going to round out this first round with a dub over 15 seed Western Kentucky. So now we are going to be going on to the round of 32, and we're heading back up to Georgia's region. And from now on, Georgia will be hosting all of those games. Here's the 4 matchups in the Georgia region. Let's hop on in and see who's going to get the dubs. Another dominant performance by the Georgia defense and by their offense as they went 31-0 over Fresno State, and they're the first team to secure a spot in the Sweet 16. The 4 and 5 matchup, Oregon and Kansas State, is coming down to the wire, but Kansas State has a 4th and 8, down 11 with only 48 seconds. They need to not only just pick up this first down on 4th down, they need a touchdown and an onside kick, and they are not going to get it as Oregon is going to win and advance to face Georgia. Tulane down 7 to the Mississippi State, the 6th seed. They got a 4th down. If they don't pick it up, it's all over. And it looks like their wide receiver dropped it, and this one's all over. Mississippi State's going to hold on, and they're on to the next round. It looks like Alabama is going to be able to secure the dub in the last game of this Georgia region, and it's looking like Alabama and Georgia are on a crash course to face each other very, very soon. We're on to the Ohio State region. Here's a quick reminder of what the matchups are. You can read them on your screen right now. Ohio State is the host site for all of these matchups. Let's hop into them. This could be the last play of the game if UCF throws the ball inbounds and gets tackled. They drop back to pass. They do just that. He's not going to pick up the first down. They got to rush to the line, and they're probably not going to get this off. And they don't get it off in time. Time runs out. Ohio State survives at home. They're on to the Sweet 16. Notre Dame needs to somehow get this onside kick and get a touchdown in 8 seconds, or they're going to lose. And it looks like Clemson is going to hold on to their lead, and they're headed on to the next round to take on Ohio State. Another game coming down to an onside kick. This time it's Florida State down 3 with a minute left, and they're not going to be able to get it either. Texas looks like they're going to hold on. Florida State only has 1 timeout, and there's only a minute 12 left. SMU, the 15 seed in this region, is leading 31-18 and has a 4th and 18, and they're going to get a stop, and they're going to win this thing. 15 seed heading to the Sweet 16. All right, we are on to the TCU region of this bracket. Even though they are knocked out, all the games will be played at TCU, so nobody will have a home field advantage in this region. We're going to kick it off with Missouri and Illinois. The 16 seed Missouri dominates Illinois just like they dominated TCU, and we have a 15 seed and a 16 seed heading into the Sweet 16. Illinois' run is over. It looks like LSU is going to beat Kentucky in this SEC battle. 12 seed Kentucky had a good run with their 1 win that they weren't supposed to get in the first round. So LSU's on to the next round to take on another SEC opponent in Missouri. It all comes down to this 2-point conversion. Oklahoma gets a stop, they win. If South Carolina gets it, Oklahoma will have a chance to score. Rattler drops back, gets sacked, and fumbles. And that's going to do it for this game. 14 seed Oklahoma on to the next round. We now have a 16, 15, and 14 seed in the Sweet 16. This region has been crazy. The 2 seed is now on the ropes. As if they don't get this onside kick, and they don't, UNC looks like they're going to beat them. Penn State still has 3 timeouts, so they might be able to get a stop and get the ball back. Penn State is not going to be able to get the ball back, and they are going to lose as UNC's heading to the next round. That last region was crazy, but now we're on to the 4th region in the second round, Michigan region, and these are the teams that are still left. Giving you a little update, they will all play at Michigan. Let's hop in. Ole Miss got absolutely destroyed by Michigan, 35-7. And Michigan has secured their spot in the Sweet 16. UCLA came in and took care of business, beating down on Washington State 35-18, and they're on to the Sweet 16 to take on Michigan. This region has been straight blowouts as USC dominates UTSA 44-19, and they're on to the Sweet 16, and we're only looking for one more team to be in the Sweet 16. This region was nothing but blowouts as Washington wins 48-21 and secures the last spot in the Sweet 16. All right, we're on to the Sweet 16. We're head back up to Georgia's region. Here we are in the Sweet 16, and there's only 4 teams left in this region: Georgia, Oregon, Mississippi State, and Alabama. Let's hop in, see who's going to win these games. Oregon gave Georgia a run for their money in an absolute shootout, but Georgia somehow came out on top by 3 in the end. So they've secured the first spot in the Elite 8. It does not look like Alabama's going to win this one and take on Georgia. Mississippi State comes in 6th seed, is heading to the Elite 8. They win 31-21 over Alabama, and they'll take on Georgia. We are now on to the Ohio State region, where it's Ohio State versus Clemson and Texas versus 15-seeded SMU. Let's hop in. 4th and 11 for Clemson. They're trying to hurry to the line. They got to get this snap off 2-1, and they're not even going to get the snap off. Ohio State is going to squeak out a dub 16-14 in a defensive battle, and they're on to the Elite 8. It looks like the Cinderella run by SMU, the 15 seed, is going to come to an end as Texas is up 31-17, and they just picked up another first down, and that's going to all but do it, as Texas will be taking on Ohio State. Now we're on to the TCU region, where 4 teams remain in this region: Missouri, LSU, Oklahoma, and North Carolina. Let's hop in and see who's going to be the 2 teams that get the dub. We are in the second overtime. Missouri's up 7. LSU, it comes down to this last play. 4th and 9. If they can't pick it up, this one's over. And he throws it out of bounds, and Missouri's Cinderella run continues. 14 seed Oklahoma had a good run, but they're going to come up short as North Carolina wins 42-21, and they'll be heading to the Elite 8 to take on Missouri. We're back to the Michigan region, and these are the 4 teams left in it: Michigan, UCLA, USC, and Washington. Let's hop in and see who's headed to the Elite 8 in these 2 games. It looks like Michigan is going to be headed to the Elite 8 after they're going to win by 11 over UCLA. They only have 45 seconds left, and they have only 2 timeouts. Michigan picks up the dub. They're on to the Elite 8. Here we are in overtime. USC has to get this 2-point conversion, and they will win. If not, they'll head on to another overtime. They're going to run it up the middle and get stuffed. Washington has an opportunity to win this in overtime. 53-53. They got to go for 2. Let's see if they can get it and win this game. Drops back to pass. He finds open man, and they're going to get it and beat USC. And Washington is on to the Elite 8 to take on Michigan. Here it is, the Elite Eight of the college football March Madness. Georgia facing Mississippi State, Ohio State facing Texas, Missouri facing North Carolina, and Michigan taking on Washington. Let's hop into this Elite Eight and see who's headed to the Final Four. Mississippi State finds themselves in Georgia Stadium with a chance to win. It's 35-35, only 14 seconds left. They're running the ball. It looks like they're going to go for the game-winning field goal. No, they're not. They're going to try to go for the end zone. What are they doing? What are they doing? They just messed up the end of the game. Will Rogers takes off, and now they got to go to overtime versus Georgia. Mississippi State did it in overtime. Stetson Bennett ended up throwing an interception, costing them the game, and Mississippi State wins it, and they secure the first spot in the Final Four of this college football March Madness. Here we go, last play of the game. They need a miracle to win this one now. Quinn Ewers drops back to pass. He's going to sling it deep, and it's going to get batted down, and Texas is just going to fall short, and Ohio State's heading to the Final Four to take on Mississippi State. Missouri had a great Cinderella run. They were a 16 seed coming into this thing. They made it all the way to the Elite Eight, but they got defeated by North Carolina. And now North Carolina, a football school now, headed to the Final Four. It looks like we are going to be down to only one seed heading into the Final Four because Washington just dominated Michigan on their own home turf. So we've got a 6 seed in Mississippi State taking on 1 seed in Ohio State. And then we got a 7 seed in North Carolina taking on a 2 seed in Washington. The first Final Four matchup between Mississippi State and Ohio State. A 6 seed taking on a 1 seed. Who is going to be advancing to the championship of the college football March Madness? Let's find out. Ohio State came out hot in the first half. They're leading 21-3 at the half. It looks like Ohio State will secure the first spot in the March Madness college football bracket as they're up 35-18 over Mississippi State, and there's only a minute and 15 left. Who will they take on? Will it be North Carolina or will it be Washington? Only one spot remains in this college football March Madness bracket. Who's going to take it? Is it going to be North Carolina, a 7 seed coming into this thing, or will it be a 2 seed, Washington? Let's find out. What a start by the Tar Heels. They're already up 17-0 over Washington heading into the half. Washington's got to figure it out in the second half, or North Carolina will be playing Ohio State. Washington figured it out in the second half, and now they have a 3rd and goal with 45 seconds left with a chance to score a touchdown and go ahead. And they're going to hand it off, and that's exactly what's going to happen. 1 extra point, and they will be winning. 7 seconds left. That means 1, maybe 2 plays left, and North Carolina needs about 39 yards or get into field goal range as Drake May is going to hold it on a read option, and he's going to get tackled, and they're going to get their timeout off with 1 second. It doesn't look like their kicker has the leg, so they're going to have to throw this one to the end zone. 27 yards. Drake May drops back. He's going to throw it down the middle. He's going to catch it, but they're not going to get in as they blow a 17-point lead in the second half to Washington, and it will be Ohio State versus Washington in the March Madness College Football Playoff Championship. We started with 64 teams in this bracket, and now we're down to 2. It's only Ohio State and Washington. Who's going to win the college football March Madness bracket? Let's find out. This game has started out hot. It's 14-7 after only 1 quarter. Ohio State tacks on 3 touchdowns to their touchdown lead, and now they lead by 28 heading into the half. Washington's got to pick it up and make a second half comeback once again, or Ohio State will be the champions. Washington has cut it to 21 heading into the final quarter, but is it going to be enough? Do they have enough time, Or is Ohio State going to hold on? Washington tried their best, but there just wasn't enough time. Ohio State is going to win this thing 42-28, and they won the first ever college football March Madness bracket. I hope you guys did enjoy. March Madness is coming up in college basketball, so I figured why not do it for football. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can hit it maybe by the time college football season starts, or like July. Drop a sub, drop a like. Peace.